I got a $5 million verdict for my client. Here's the key part. Cross-examination, more specifically, of an expert witness. In a case, we often hire expert witnesses, or we bring expert witnesses that we don't have to hire. They're doctors or psychologists or something like that. In this case, we had a forensic psychiatrist. They had a forensic psychiatrist. They brought their forensic psychiatrist to come testify, essentially, that she does not suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder. Guess what? They paid her a bunch of money. She comes in and she's going to testify on their behalf that she's not hurt. So how do you deal with that? A lot of lawyers are thinking, oh, I'm going to look at the DSM psychiatric guide and I'm going to win on the medicine. Bad idea. You're not a doctor. If you want to be a doctor, go to medical school. Otherwise, if you're a lawyer, I would suggest you cross-examine your expert witnesses by sticking to the important points that you know you're going to win on. Number one, and the most important, this is a hired gun. They're only here because the defendant paid them to be here. No other reason. They have no other interest in the case. They get paid money. They show up. They testify for the defendant. Bad deal. Second thing, are there any good facts that the expert witness actually has given your client, basically? Like, oh, I'll concede this or that. No credible person comes forward and says, nope, they're just not completely hurt at all. They're not completely traumatized at all. What they're doing is they're usually disputing how traumatized they are. But when she does that, the expert in this case, what you realize is she conceded that my client was having still numerous nightmares from the trauma on a nightly basis and flashbacks to the event. That's horrible. That's horrible trauma. She's going to admit that. That's good for me. I'm going to cross-examine her on that. What is the final thing that I think that people really miss out on? And that is this. If you can, I always try to find some prior testimony, like a prior deposition or something like that, that shows another case that they testified in at another time. And what you're going to do is you're going to cross-examine them on that. You're going to pin them to something. And if they are not completely honest, bam, put it up on the board. They testified in this case completely opposite to that. Oh, it looks horrible. So we did that in this case. And there were jurors that came back and talked to some of my staff. And they said that in this case, they gave their expert a 0 out of 10, and they completely disregarded what she had to say because they did not think she was credible after the cross-examination.